The Valerian Empire's High Command had refused to believe Commander Tolvan's reports about Earth's dangerous wildlife. When his desperate requests for reinforcements reached the fleet, they were dismissed as the excuses of a commander who had failed in a simple mission. But Admiral Kefenara, the highest-ranking Valerian officer in the Earth system, decided to investigate personally. She arrived at the African base in her personal shuttle, expecting to find Commander Tolvan embarrassed by some minor setback that could be easily corrected. What she found instead was something that would change Valerian military doctrine forever. "This is impossible," Admiral Kefenara said as her shuttle circled the alien base. Below them, hundreds of Earth animals had organized into what could only be described as a siege formation. "Commander Tolvan, explain to me how primitive creatures have surrounded a Valerian military installation." Commander Tolvan's voice came over the radio, tired and defeated. "Admiral, they are not primitive. We made a fundamental error in our assessment of this planet's wildlife. Animals are animals, Commander. They cannot possibly pose a threat to advanced technology. Admiral, please observe the small black and white creature sitting on the hill to the east of our base." Admiral Kefenara adjusted her shuttle's sensors and focused on the honey badger. It was indeed a small animal, seemingly unimpressive compared to the elephants and lions surrounding it. But as she watched, she noticed something that made her pause. "The other animals are watching it," she said quietly. "Yes, Admiral. That creature is their leader. It started this entire operation by escaping from our most secure containment field and then attacking our equipment. Everything that followed came from that single act of defiance." Admiral Kefenara had conquered star systems and defeated alien armies across the galaxy, but she had never seen anything like what was happening below. The animals were not just randomly gathered around the base. They were organized, disciplined, and clearly working together toward a common goal. "Admiral," Commander Tolvan continued, "I request permission to negotiate a full withdrawal from this planet." "Absolutely not. The Valerian Empire does not retreat from primitive worlds." But even as Admiral Kefenara spoke, she watched the honey badger stand up on its hill and make a series of chattering sounds. Immediately, every animal around the base began moving closer to the alien structure. "They are attacking," Commander Tolvan reported. "All defensive systems are offline. We have no way to stop them." Admiral Kefenara watched in amazement as the coordinated assault began. The elephants used their tusks to tear at the base's outer walls while the smaller animals poured through the tunnels they had dug. It was a military operation that would have impressed any general in the galaxy. "How many casualties?" she asked. "None, Admiral. The animals are not trying to kill us. They are trying to drive us away. Every time one of our soldiers tries to surrender, the animals let them retreat to the center of the base." Admiral Kefenara realized she was witnessing something unprecedented in Valerian. 3 days had passed since the humiliating council meeting. Ambassador Tejo sat in his quarters aboard the space station, staring at the official documents. The papers confirmed Earth's new status as a docile species. Humanity would be treated like children in the galactic community. A knock came at his door. Captain Dongwu entered without waiting for permission. His military uniform was wrinkled and his face showed anger. "This is unacceptable," Dongwu said, throwing down a data pad. "Do you know what they are saying about us in the station bars?" Tejo looked up from his papers. "I can imagine. They call us the pet humans. They say we are so weak that we need protection from real predators. Some aliens are already planning to visit Earth as a vacation spot to see our harmless animals." "Doctor." Somin entered the room behind Dongwu. She carried her research case and looked tired. "I have been studying the alien predator data they showed us. Their creatures are incredibly powerful, but there might be something they are missing." "What do you mean?" Tejo asked. "They judge everything by size and obvious strength. Bigger teeth, stronger claws, thicker armor. But predation is more complex than that." Captain Dongwu paced around the small room. "Complex or not, we look weak to them. And weak species do not get respect in this galaxy." "Then we need to prove we are not weak," Taeho said quietly. Dong-Wu stopped pacing. How? Challenge them. To a fight? Their warriors would crush us? Not warriors, Taeho said, an idea forming in his mind. Predators. If they judge us by our animals, then our animals must prove them wrong. Dr. So-min frowned. But you saw their creatures. Our predators cannot match them in direct combat. Maybe they do not need to. Taeho stood up. Captain, what if we issued a challenge, a formal wager? What kind of wager? A hunt. We invite them to Earth. Let their predators face ours in natural conditions. If our predators win, we get full council membership and equal trading rights. Dong-Wu laughed, but there was no humor in it. And if we lose? We cannot lose more than we already have. They already see us as pets. Dr. So-min sat down heavily. This is insane. You want to bet humanity's future on our animals defeating creatures that could destroy cities? I want to bet on something they have not considered yet, Taeho said. They think they know everything about predators. Maybe it is time to teach them something new. 2 hours later, they stood outside Chancellor Vex's private office. The alien leader was reviewing reports when they entered. His yellow eyes looked annoyed at the interruption. What do you want, humans? Your papers are already filed. Earth's status is decided. Captain Dong-Wu stepped forward. We challenge that decision. Vex's scales rippled with what might have been amusement. You challenged the council? On what grounds? Your judgment was based on incomplete information, Taeho said. You saw images of our predators, but you did not see them hunt. I do not need to see a house cat hunt to know it cannot defeat a death moth. Then prove it, Dong-Wu said boldly. Bring your best hunting beasts to Earth. Let them face our predators in real conditions. If your creatures win, we will accept any restrictions you place on humanity. And if somehow your pets win? Vex asked, clearly not believing it was possible. Full council membership, equal trading rights, access to all galactic markets, and technology. Chancellor Vex leaned back in his chair. The idea seemed to amuse him greatly. You would risk everything on this foolish wager? We would risk everything to prove Earth deserves respect. Vex touched a control on his desk. Commander. Zix appeared on a holographic screen. Commander, the humans want to challenge our predators to a hunt on their world. Zix's insect features clicked with excitement. How entertaining. My death moths have not had proper prey in months. I could bring some rock crushers, Vex mused. They need exercise anyway. Then you accept? Taeho asked. Oh yes, Vex grinned, showing rows of sharp teeth. This will be excellent entertainment. The whole galaxy will watch as your harmless animals flee from real predators. We want this to be official, Dong-Wu said. A formal council challenge with witnesses, of course. We want everyone to see why Earth species should remain classified as docile. After leaving Vex's office, the three humans walked quickly toward their ship. They had 1 week to prepare before the aliens arrived at Earth. What have we done? Dr. So-min asked. We just bet humanity's future on a fight we cannot win. Maybe we can win, Taeho said. You mentioned that predation is more complex than size and strength. It is, but complex does not mean our animals can defeat alien super predators. Back on Earth, they landed at a military base in the mountains of Korea. The area had been chosen for its diverse wildlife and remote location. If the demonstration went wrong, at least the damage would be limited. Dr. Kyung-soo met them at the landing pad. He was Dr. So-min's research partner and had been preparing for their return. I heard about the challenge, Kyung-soo said. The whole planet is talking about it. Most people think we are insane. They might be right, So-min replied. What do we have to work with? Kyung-soo led them to a research facility built into the mountainside. Inside, holographic displays showed Earth's ecosystem in detail. I have been analyzing every predator on our planet, Kyung-soo explained, looking for anything that might surprise the aliens. And? Dong-Wu asked. Most of our predators really are outmatched. Lions, tigers, bears, sharks. They are all smaller and weaker than alien equivalents. Then we are doomed, So-min said. Not necessarily. I found something interesting. The aliens judge predators by obvious traits. Size, teeth, claws, armor. But what if the most dangerous predator is not the most obvious one? Communications Officer Yoonji entered the room. She carried a data pad with intercepted alien transmissions. I have been monitoring alien communications, she said. They are not just planning a hunt. They want to use this as propaganda. What do you mean? Taeho asked. They plan to broadcast the entire hunt across the galaxy. They want to show everyone how weak Earth species are. This is meant to be a lesson about why humans should never be trusted with real power. So if we lose, we do not just lose the wager, Dongwoo said. We become a galactic joke. Yes, but if we win, Eunji smiled, we become the species that shocked the entire galaxy. Dr. Kyung-soo pulled up new data on his screens. I have an idea, but you are going to think I am crazy. Crazier than challenging alien super predators? So-min asked. Much crazier. What? If we do not use an obvious predator at all? What do you mean? Kyung-soo touched his screen. A new image appeared. The creature was small, about the size of a house cat. It had black and white fur and looked almost cute. This is our secret weapon, Kyung-soo said. Everyone stared at the image. Finally, Dongwoo spoke. That looks like a pet. How is that supposed to defeat alien monsters? Because, Kyung-soo smiled, the aliens have never met a honey badger. Doctor? So-min's eyes widened as she understood. Oh my, that might actually work. What is so special about this animal? Taeho asked. Everything the aliens do not expect in a predator, Kyung-soo explained. They think danger comes from size and obvious weapons, but the honey badger's greatest weapon is something they cannot see. Which is? It absolutely refuses to give up, ever, no matter what. Outside the facility, alien ships were already heading toward Earth. In a few days, the galaxy would learn whether humanity deserved respect or pity, but deep in the Korean mountains, a small black and white animal slept peacefully, unaware that it was about to change the course of human history. The alien ships descended from the gray morning sky like falling stars. Their black hulls gleamed in the sunlight as they landed in the Korean mountains. The ground shook under their weight. Trees bent away from the hot exhaust of their engines. Chancellor Vex stepped out of the largest ship. His green scales caught the light as he stretched his massive arms. Behind him came Commander Zix, her 4 insect arms carrying various scanning devices. Both aliens wore protective suits designed for hunting. Expeditions. So this is Earth, Vex said, looking around at the forest. It looks soft and peaceful, perfect for weak predators. A dozen other alien ships landed nearby. Representatives from across the galaxy had come to watch the hunt. Some floated in the air using anti-gravity devices. Others walked on multiple legs or slithered across the ground. All of them had come to see humanity's animals lose to real predators. Ambassador Taeho approached the alien delegation. Behind him walked Dr. So-min, Captain Dongwoo, and the rest of the human team. They looked small next to the towering aliens. Welcome to Earth, Taeho said formally. The hunting preserve is ready. Good, Vex replied. My rock crushers are hungry. They have not had fresh prey in weeks. The group walked to the edge of a vast fenced area. The preserve covered 50 square miles of forest, rivers, and open grassland. Hidden cameras would record everything that happened inside. Dr. Kyung-soo activated a holographic display that showed the preserve from above. Red dots marked the locations of various Earth animals that had been released into the area. As agreed, we have stocked the preserve with a variety of Earth species, Dr. So-min explained. Deer, wild boar, brown bears, wolves, and several other predators and prey animals. Commander Zix studied the display with her multiple eyes. Where are your apex predators? The lions and tigers you showed us? We decided to use animals native to this region, Kyung-soo said carefully. Bears and wolves are the primary predators here. Bears and wolves? Vex laughed. This will be even easier than I thought. The alien leader gestured toward his ship. A massive ramp lowered to the ground. Heavy footsteps echoed from inside the ship's cargo hold. The first rock crusher emerged into the sunlight. It was enormous, 3 times the size of Earth's largest elephant. Crystal armor covered its body like natural shields. Its 6 legs ended in claws that could tear through steel. Most terrifying were its jaws, filled with teeth designed to crush stone. "Beautiful, is it not?" Vex said proudly. "This male weighs 22,000 pounds. His armor can stop military weapons. His bite force could crush a tank." A second rock crusher followed the first. Then a third. Each one was slightly different in size and coloring, but all were massive and deadly. Commander Zix opened a different cargo hold on her ship. What emerged made several human observers step backward in fear. The death moths were unlike anything on Earth. Each one was the size of a small airplane. Their wings made no sound as they moved through the air. Poison dripped from their curved fangs, sizzling when it hit the ground. Most disturbing were their eyes, which glowed with an inner fire. "My hunting pack," Zix said with pride. "They can fly at 200 miles per hour. Their venom can kill a blue whale in 30 seconds. Their plasma breath can melt through 6 inches of steel." More alien creatures emerged from the other ships. A pack of shadow stalkers that could become invisible. Acid spitters that could dissolve flesh from 100 yards away. Energy drainers that fed on the life force of their prey, the assembled. Alien predators made Earth's animals look like toys. Even the human observers felt a chill of fear watching these creatures prepare for the hunt. "Your animals do not stand a chance," said Ambassador Thok, a slug-like alien from the outer systems. "This hunt will be over in minutes." "We shall see," Teho replied, trying to sound confident. Engineer Wu Jin activated the preserve's monitoring systems. Hundreds of cameras came online, showing every corner of the hunting ground. The images were broadcast live to ships throughout the galaxy. Millions of alien viewers watched and waited. "Release your creatures," Dr. Sonin said. The alien predators entered the preserve through reinforced gates. They moved with deadly purpose, immediately spreading out to hunt. Their alien senses quickly detected the Earth animals hiding throughout the forest. On the monitoring screens, everyone watched as the slaughter began. A pack of deer fled in terror as 2 rock crushers approached. The massive aliens moved faster than seemed possible for their size. Within minutes, the deer were caught and crushed. In the sky above, death moths swooped down on a brown bear. The bear tried to fight, rising on its back legs and roaring defiance, but the alien creatures were too fast and too deadly. Their venom brought down the massive bear in seconds. "Pathetic," Chancellor Vex commented. "Even your bears are helpless against real predators." The alien creatures spread throughout the preserve like a plague. Everything they encountered was quickly killed or fled in terror. Wild boar, wolves, mountain cats, none of Earth's predators could stand against the alien hunting beasts. Dr. Somin watched the screens with growing despair. The plan was failing completely. Earth's animals were being wiped out exactly as the aliens had predicted. "Where is your secret weapon?" Captain Dongwu whispered urgently. "Patience," Dr. Kyung-soo replied. "The best predators do not rush into obvious fights." On screen, a shadow stalker had cornered a pack of wolves. The Earth predators snarled and snapped, but they could barely see their invisible enemy. One by one, the wolves fell to the aliens' attacks. "This is embarrassing," Commander Zix said. "Your predators fight like frightened pets." The alien viewers were already laughing. Comments flooded the broadcast channels, mocking Earth's weak animals and the humans who had been foolish enough to challenge real predators. But in a quiet corner of the preserve, far from the main battles, something small was moving through the underbrush. The cameras briefly caught sight of black and white fur, but most observers ignored it. The creature looked tiny and harmless compared to the alien monsters destroying everything else. Engineer Wu Jin noticed the movement and zoomed in one camera. "There," he said quietly. On the screen, a small animal emerged from the bush. It walked calmly across an open meadow, completely ignoring the sounds of battle from other parts of the preserve. "What is that?" asked Ambassador Thok. "That," said Dr. Kyung-soo with a slight smile, "is our apex predator." The aliens looked at the screen in disbelief. The creature was smaller than most of their pets. It had no obvious weapons, no armor, no special abilities they could detect. "You are joking," Chancellor Vex said. "That little thing is supposed to defeat my rock crushers?" "Watch," said Dr. So-Min did on screen. The small earth animal spotted one of the rock crushers in the distance. The massive alien predator was finishing. "Alpha deer," blood and crystal armor gleaming in the sunlight. Instead of running away like every other earth creature, the small animal began walking directly toward the rock crusher. "It does not know enough to be afraid," Commander Zix observed. "How sad." But Dr. Kyung-soo was watching the animal's movement carefully. This was no frightened creature stumbling toward death. This was a predator that had chosen its target. The honey badger continued its steady approach toward the alien monster, and the real hunt was about to begin. The honey badger walked across the meadow with calm purpose. It showed no fear of the massive rock crusher ahead. The alien predator was 3,000 times its size, but the honey badger approached as if it were meeting an old friend. "This is painful to watch," Chancellor Vex said. "That little creature is going to be crushed in seconds." On the monitoring screens, alien viewers across the galaxy prepared to witness the quick end of Earth's last predator. The rock crusher had finished eating its deer, and was now aware of the approaching animal. The massive alien beast turned toward the honey badger. Its crystal armor caught the sunlight as it moved. 6 legs carried its enormous weight with surprising grace. The creature's thermal vision locked onto the small, warm shape walking toward it. "At least it will be quick," Commander Zix said. "My death moths take longer to kill their prey." Engineer Wu Jin focused all nearby cameras on the confrontation. The size difference was almost comical. The rock crusher's head alone was larger than the honey badger's entire body. The rock crusher made a sound like grinding stone. It was either a warning or a threat. Most earth animals would have fled in terror at that sound. The honey badger kept walking. "Fascinating," Dr. Kyung-soo said quietly. "Watch its body language." The honey badger's movement was unlike any other earth animal they had seen today. It did not creep or stalk like a cat. It did not circle and test like a wolf. It simply walked forward with absolute confidence. The rock crusher lowered its massive head. Its jaws opened, revealing teeth designed to crush boulders. A normal predator would have waited for the right moment to strike. The rock crusher was not used to prey that approached voluntarily. 20 feet away from the alien monster, the honey badger suddenly accelerated. It did not leap or pounce like other predators. Instead, it charged forward in a straight line, moving faster than its small legs should have allowed. The rock crusher tried to snap its jaws shut on the small animal. But the honey badger was no longer where the alien expected it to be. "What happened?" Ambassador Thok asked, squinting at the screen. The honey badger had somehow gotten underneath the rock crusher. It was climbing up the alien's armored legs, using its powerful claws to grip the crystal plates. "Impossible," Chancellor Vex said. "Nothing can penetrate rock crusher armor." But the honey badger was not trying to penetrate the armor. It was looking for gaps between the plates. Its small size allowed it to squeeze into spaces that larger predators could never reach. The rock crusher tried to shake off its tiny attacker. The massive creature rolled onto its side, attempting to crush the honey badger against the ground. But the small earth animal was already moving, scrambling to a new position on the alien's body. "It is too small and too fast," Dr. So-Min explained. "The rock crusher cannot target something that size at close range." The honey badger found what it was looking for. Behind the rock crusher's front leg was a gap in the armor where joints allowed for movement. The honey badger's teeth were not large, but they were sharp and precise. The rock crusher's roar of pain echoed across the preserve. The sound was like breaking stone mixed with metal scraping metal. Every alien observer fell silent. "Did that little animal just hurt a rock crusher?" Commander Zix asked in disbelief. On screen, The rock crusher was trying desperately to reach the honey badger. But the small predator had positioned itself perfectly. The alien's massive size worked against it. Its claws could not reach the spot. Where the honey badger was attacking, the honey badger bit down again, finding nerve clusters that even the rock crusher's designers had not protected. The alien creature's leg began to weaken. "This is not possible," Chancellor Vex said. "Rock crushers have defeated armies. They have destroyed fortified cities. Against large enemies using predictable tactics," Dr. Kyung-soo replied. "But what tactics do you use against something that refuses to fight the way you expect?" The rock crusher threw itself against a tree, trying to scrape off the honey badger. The tree broke in half, but the honey badger simply adjusted its grip and continued. Its attack then something even more surprising happened. Two death moths had noticed the commotion and swooped down to help their ally. The flying predators were designed to kill from above. Their venom and plasma breath were perfect weapons against large ground targets. But the honey badger was too. Close to the rock crusher for them to attack safely, one death moth tried to grab the honey badger with its claws. The small earth animal turned and bit the alien's talon. The death moth's venom should have killed the honey badger instantly. Instead, the honey badger shook its head and went back to attacking the rock crusher. "The venom had no effect," Commander Zix whispered. "Honey badgers have natural resistance to many toxins," Dr. So-min explained. "They regularly eat poisonous snakes on Earth." The second death moth tried to use its plasma breath, but the honey badger was directly underneath the rock crusher. Any plasma blast would hit the rock crusher instead of the honey badger. For the first time in the hunt, the alien predators were frustrated. They had overwhelming size and power, but they could not use their advantages effectively. The honey badger continued its relentless attack on the rock crusher's leg joint. The massive alien was now limping badly. Its crystal armor was cracked in several places. "It is systematically disabling a creature 3,000 times its size," Engineer Wu Jin observed. "How is this possible?" "Because," said Dr. Kyung-soo, "it never occurred to the rock crusher that something so small could be a threat. The honey badger's greatest weapon is not its teeth or claws." "Then what is it?" Ambassador Thok demanded. "It simply does not care how big its enemy is. Size means nothing to a honey badger. Danger means nothing. Pain means nothing. It will keep fighting until it wins or dies." On screen, the rock crusher finally managed to grab the honey badger in its massive jaws. The alien creature's teeth could crush steel, and everyone expected to see Earth's last predator destroyed, but the honey badger did something no other prey animal had ever done. Instead of trying to escape, it attacked the inside of the rock crusher's mouth. The rock crusher's jaws snapped open in shock and pain. It had never been attacked from inside its own mouth before. The honey badger dropped to the ground, slightly injured but still moving. Any other earth animal would have fled after such an encounter. The honey badger looked up at the towering rock crusher and prepared to attack again. "This is insane," Chancellor Vex said. "That animal should be dead 10 times over." "Honey badgers do not know how to give up," Captain Dongwu said with growing pride. "They have been known to fight lions, leopards, and hyenas all at the same time." "And win?" Commander Zix asked. "Often enough that other predators have learned to avoid them." The alien observers watched in stunned silence as the small Earth predator continued its impossible battle. The honey badger was not winning through superior strength or speed. It was winning through pure, stubborn determination. And in the skies above Earth, millions of alien viewers began to understand that they had seriously underestimated this small planet and its creatures. The honey badger circled the wounded rock crusher like a general planning the next attack. The massive alien predator was bleeding from several wounds. Its crystal armor was cracked and one leg could barely support its weight. "This cannot be happening," Chancellor Vex said, his voice tight with disbelief. "One small animal cannot defeat a rock crusher." But the evidence was clear on every monitoring screen. The alien super predator that could destroy cities was being systematically dismantled by a creature that weighed less than 30 pounds. The honey badger charged again. This time it went for the rock crusher's other front leg. The alien tried to step on the small attacker, but the honey badger was already moving. It climbed up the leg and found another gap in the armor. "It is learning," Dr. Kyung-soo observed. "Each attack is more precise than the last." The rock crusher roared in frustration and pain. It had never faced an enemy like this. Every other creature it had fought used size and strength. They fought like the rock crusher expected them to fight. But the honey badger followed no rules that the alien understood. 2 more death moths arrived to help. The flying predator circled overhead looking for a chance to strike. But the honey badger stayed close to the rock crusher, using the larger creature as a shield. One death moth grew impatient and dove down anyway. Its claws raked across the honey badger's back, drawing blood. The alien expected this injury to slow down or stop the small predator. The honey badger barely seemed to notice. It continued attacking the rock crusher's leg as if nothing had happened. "It feels no pain," Commander Zix whispered. "It feels pain," Dr. Somin corrected. "It just does not let pain stop it from fighting." The death moth that had attacked landed on the ground nearby. It was confused by the honey badger's lack of reaction. Most prey animals fled or died when injured. This creature just kept fighting. The honey badger saw the death moth and made a decision that shocked every observer. It abandoned its attack on the rock crusher and charged straight at the flying predator. "Now it will die for certain," Ambassador Thok said. "Death moths are designed to kill other flying predators." But the honey badger was not flying. It was running along the ground in a zigzag pattern that made it hard to target. The death moth tried to grab the small animal with its claws, but the honey badger was too unpredictable. When the death moth lowered its head to use its plasma breath, the honey badger leaped. It was not a graceful jump like a cat or a powerful bound like a wolf. It was just a determined launch that got the honey badger exactly where it needed to be. The honey badger landed on the death moth's head and immediately began biting. The alien predator tried to shake off its attacker, but the honey badger's claws were locked into the creature's exoskeleton. "The death moth's armor is thinner than the rock crusher's," Engineer Wu Jin noted. "The honey badger's teeth can actually penetrate it." The death moth screamed, a sound like tearing metal. It had never been successfully attacked by ground-based prey. Its entire design was built around fighting in the air against other flying creatures. The other death moths tried to help their packmate, but they faced the same problem as before. The honey badger was too close to their ally for them to attack safely. Within minutes, the death moth collapsed. The honey badger had found vital nerve clusters in the creature's head. The alien predator was not dead, but it was completely paralyzed. The honey badger climbed down from its defeated enemy and looked around for the next target. "It just defeated a death moth," Commander Zix said in a hollow voice. "A creature designed to kill from the air. A predator that has never been beaten in ground combat." "How?" Chancellor Vex demanded. "How is this possible?" Captain Dongwu stepped forward. For the first time since the hunt began, he looked confident. "Because you do not understand what makes a true predator," he said. "You think it is about size and weapons and armor. But the most dangerous predator is the one that never gives up." On screen, the honey badger was already engaging another enemy. A shadow stalker had become visible, trying to help the wounded rock crusher. The alien creature could turn invisible and strike from hiding. It was the perfect ambush predator, but ambush predators rely on fear and surprise. The honey badger felt neither. When the shadow stalker appeared behind it, the honey badger simply turned around and attacked. "It has no survival instincts," one alien observer commented. "It has perfect survival instincts," Dr. Kyung-soo corrected. "For a honey badger, the best survival strategy is to be too dangerous to mess with." The shadow stalker tried to turn invisible again, but the honey badger had already locked onto its scent. Invisibility meant nothing. When your enemy could track you by smell, the alien predator found itself in an impossible situation. It was designed to attack from hiding, but its enemy could find it anywhere. It was built for quick strikes and rapid retreats, but its enemy never stopped coming. The honey badger's attack on the shadow stalker was relentless. Every time the alien tried to create distance, the honey badger closed in. Every time the alien turned invisible, the honey badger tracked it down. "This is not how predation works," Chancellor Vex said desperately. "The larger predator should win. The stronger predator should dominate." "That is how it works on your worlds," Ambassador Tejo replied. "But Earth is different. On Earth, the most successful predators are not always the biggest or strongest. They are the most determined." Dr. Somin added, "The ones that never give up, no matter what." The shadow stalker finally fled the preserve entirely. It had never encountered prey that refused to act like prey. The alien predator's instincts told it to find easier targets, but there were no easier targets. The honey badger was the only. Earth predator left alive in the preserve. The wounded rock crusher tried to escape as well, but its damaged legs could not carry it fast enough. The honey badger caught up and resumed its systematic attack on the alien's joints and weak points. "Stop this," Chancellor Vex demanded. "Call off your animal." "The hunt continues until one side surrenders," Captain Dongwu reminded him. "Those were your rules." The remaining death moths tried one final coordinated attack. All three creatures dove at the honey badger simultaneously, hoping to overwhelm it with numbers. The honey badger looked up at the approaching aliens and did something that made every observer hold their breath. It stood its ground and prepared to fight all three at once. "Impossible," Commander Zix breathed. "No creature is that fearless." But as the galaxy watched, they began to understand that Earth had produced something truly unique. Not the biggest predator or the strongest or the fastest, but perhaps the most dangerous of all. A predator that simply refused to lose. The three death moths attacked together, diving from different angles. Their combined assault should have ended the fight instantly. No ground-based predator had ever survived such an attack. The honey badger did not try to dodge or hide. Instead, it jumped toward the nearest death moth, meeting the alien's dive with its own attack. The collision sent both creatures tumbling across the ground. The other two death moths pulled up from their dives, unable to attack without hitting their packmate. Once again, the honey badger's tactics had turned the alien's superior numbers against them. "It uses our own strength against us," Commander Zix observed with growing respect. "This creature thinks like a military strategist." The honey badger rolled away from the death moth and immediately attacked the next nearest alien. Its movements were becoming more efficient as the battle continued. Every encounter taught it something new about its enemies. The death moth tried to fly away, but the honey badger leaped and caught one of its wings. The alien predator crashed to the ground, its wing damaged by the honey badger's claws and teeth. 2 death moths down, Engineer Wu Jin announced. One paralyzed, one grounded. The last flying death moth circled overhead, no longer eager to attack. It had watched two of its packmates defeated by a creature that should have been easy prey. The wounded rock crusher made another attempt to flee. But the honey badger had not forgotten about the largest threat. It abandoned the death moths and returned to its systematic destruction of the alien super predator. "The rock crusher is trying to surrender," Dr. Kyung-soo observed. "Look at its body language." The massive alien was indeed showing submission signals. It lowered its head and backed away from the honey badger. In the alien's experience, this should have ended the fight, but the honey badger did not recognize surrender. It saw only an enemy that was still moving. The attack continued. "Stop," Chancellor Vex called out. "We yield. The rock crusher yields." The honey badger ignored the alien's words. It could not understand their language, and even if it could, honey badgers did not accept surrender from enemies who might attack again. "How do we call it off?" Commander Zix asked desperately. "You cannot," Dr. Somin replied. "Once a honey badger decides to fight, it fights until the threat is completely eliminated." The rock crusher's front legs finally gave out. The massive predator collapsed, unable to support its own weight. The honey badger climbed onto the alien's back and looked for the most vulnerable spot on its neck. "Please," Chancellor Vex said. We understand. Your predator has won. Captain Dongwu stepped forward. The formal terms of our wager were clear. Your predators would face ours until one side was completely defeated. Then call your animal off before it kills my rock crusher. We cannot call it off, but we can remove it from the situation. Dr. Kyung-soo activated a containment field around the honey badger. The energy barrier separated the small predator from its prey. The honey badger immediately began testing the barrier, looking for a way through. Even trapped, it does not give up, Ambassador Thok observed. The honey badger spent several minutes trying to break through the containment field. When it finally accepted that escape was impossible, it sat down and began grooming itself as if nothing unusual had happened. It switches from combat mode to normal behavior instantly, Dr. So-min explained. Honey badgers do not hold grudges. They fight when they need to fight, then go back to their normal lives. Chancellor Vex looked around the preserve. His mighty rock crushers were defeated. Commander Zix's death moths were grounded or paralyzed. The other alien predators had either fled or were too intimidated to continue fighting. This is impossible, Vex said weakly. One small animal cannot defeat an entire pack of super predators. It just did, Captain Dongwu replied. The galaxy saw it happen. The holographic displays showed alien communication channels across the galaxy. The hunt had been broadcast live to millions of viewers. Comments flooded in from every corner of known space. They are calling it the impossible victory, Communications Officer Yunji reported. Some aliens think it was faked. Others are demanding to know more about Earth's predators, Engineer Wu Jin added. They want to study honey badger tactics. Chancellor Vex sat down heavily on a fallen log. His yellow eyes stared at the small black and white animal in the containment field. We underestimated your world, he said finally. We thought size and obvious strength were the only measures of a predator's worth. Earth teaches different lessons, Ambassador Taeho said. Our predators survive not by being the biggest, but by being the most adaptable and determined. This honey badger, Commander Zix said, it represents something we have never encountered before. What is that? Dr. So-min asked. A predator that refuses to acknowledge defeat. In our experience, every creature has a breaking point. Some limit where it will give up or run away. But this animal seems to have no such limit. Dr. Kyung-soo nodded. Honey badgers have been observed fighting off entire packs of lions. They attack animals 50 times their size. They break out of supposedly escape-proof enclosures. They ignore pain, poison, and overwhelming odds. And humans share this trait? Chancellor Vex asked. In our own way, yes, Taeho replied. Humans have survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and natural disasters. We have expanded across our planet and now into space. We keep trying even when success seems impossible. Like your honey badger? Commander Zix said with what might have been admiration. Like our honey badger, Taeho agreed. The official results were announced across the galaxy within hours. Earth's predators had defeated the alien super predators in formal combat. The victory was recorded and verified by hundreds of witnesses. The Galactic Council had no choice but to honor their agreement. Earth's status was changed from docile species to full member. Humanity gained access to all galactic trade routes, technology exchanges, and colonization rights. But more than that, the galaxy's perception of Earth had changed completely. Aliens who had mocked humanity's weak predators now spoke of them with respect and caution. We have learned something important today, Chancellor Vex announced at the formal ceremony. True strength is not always visible. The most dangerous predator is not necessarily the largest or most heavily armed. What is it then? Asked Ambassador Thok. It is the one that never gives up, Commander Zix replied. The one that keeps fighting no matter what the odds. Captain Deng Wu was promoted to lead humanity's first deep space exploration fleet. Dr. So-min became the permanent human representative to the Galactic Council's Xenobiology Committee. Her first act was to establish an exchange program where alien scientists could study Earth's unique predators. Dr. Kyung-soo returned to Earth with funding for a massive research project. He would study how Earth's harsh environment had shaped its creatures to be so determined and adaptable. And in the Korean mountains, a honey badger was released back into its natural habitat. It walked away from the preserve without looking back. Already focused on finding its next meal, the galaxy had learned that Earth's greatest predator was not the largest or strongest. It was the one that embodied the spirit that had driven humanity to the stars, the absolute refusal to give up, no matter what stood in the way. From that day forward, when aliens spoke of dangerous predators, they mentioned the great boerworms and death moths of their homeworlds. But they also spoke with respect and a touch of fear of the small black and white animal from Earth that had taught the galaxy a new definition of strength. The honey badger had become more than just Earth's representative. It had become a symbol of humanity's greatest gift to the universe, the courage to keep fighting when all hope seemed lost.